Welcome to Topic A, everyone. I'm your host, Gary Perna. This week on Topic A, we're talking with a woman who wants to be the delegate for the 11th Congressional District to go into the convention and help pick the next president of the United States. We're going to talk to Carol Druniak about why she wants to be the delegate and why you should vote for her on this special edition of Topic A here on WYLN. Stay with us.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric, Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
The Beer Garage, 202 East Diamond Avenue in Hazleton. More than just beer. Coffee, all sizes, only $1. Get your lottery tickets here, too. Stop in today, The Beer Garage in Hazleton.
Welcome back to Topic A, everyone. I'm your host, Gary Perna, and I'm very pleased to be joined by Carol Druniak, who is running to be a delegate for the Republican National Convention. You are running within the 11th Congressional District,
Exactly.
which of course is Congressman Lou Barletta's area. So first of all, Carol, I just want to give you the opportunity. Give us a little background about yourself and why you're running for this position.
All right. First of all, I taught American literature and American history. And the whole concept of the Constitution is very important to me. I also have served as a councilwoman in Cunningham for 6 years. I helped a lot of Republicans get elected and supported them in their campaigns. And I've done all kinds of things with the press or with the media, writing letters to the editor and so on, just to get out my beliefs or principles of liberty out there somehow. So that's pretty much my background.
And you know, when we were talking before the show, I said, you know, how do you describe yourself? And you said constitutionalist. So, you know, what is a constitutionalist, and what makes you, you know, fall within, you know, I'll say within that label?
All right. Well, I believe strongly, and our area should as well, and does, I believe, in the Second Amendment and our absolute right to keep and bear arms, and not for hunting necessarily, but to deal with a tyrannical government in case we ever get one. And I just think that all the rights we have, God-given rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, is something that our Constitution grants us, and we should cherish. I think that anyone who adheres to a strict understanding of the Constitution, as, by the way, Supreme Court Justice Scalia, God rest his soul, did. And he tried to find things that was going through the Supreme Court that didn't exist. And he wanted to be a strict constitutionalist. I'm pretty much that kind of person.
Well, in a sense, you know, being a constitutionalist and living, you know, by our Declaration of Independence, which was, you know, drawn up by our forefathers for this country to be guided by. Is it true? Is it a rumor that you've carried the Declaration in a little pocketbook with you? So
I have it in my pocketbook now, but I also carry something else, and it's just this little piece of paper, and on it are the principles of liberty. And all of these principles, there are 28 of them here, are taken from various writings, particularly the writings by Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison in the Federalist Papers.
Okay.
And how their attitude about what needed to be included in the Constitution. After much, that was the written debate that they did, but there was also much debate on the floor of the Continental Congress about what various items should be included in the Constitution. And there was much struggling back and forth, letters written, people dueling, all kinds of things going on to make certain that the Constitution was a written document. What I'm not certain that people know is that in the Constitution, there were only 2 sources that our founders used.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The Bible
Okay.
and the Magna Carta.
Okay.
And the Magna Carta, way back in feudal times, in 1215, the barons in England were fighting against the King John, because he was trying to impose some things that they felt limited their liberty. And so he was forced to write down all the liberties that were given to the barons. And from there, we have gotten the liberties that we have put into our Constitution. Okay.
And, having the background that you have and being, you've taught American history and everything, why should someone who's, going to the polling place on April 26th say, I'm going to vote for her because she believes in the same things, that I do when it comes to, helping to select the next president of the United States? What are some of those things that really stand out that people should know about you when they go on the 26th to vote?
Well, I think what's most important is that I do have a political background. I have done things at least 30 years ago. I'm not even sure you were born then, but at least 30 years ago, I ran for political office as a state representative in Pennsylvania. Okay. This was long before it was fashionable for women to express themselves at all in politics. And so I have been an outspoken person on behalf of politics, perhaps because I have some knowledge of American history, but also because I have, over the years, spent many, many hours reading about the various candidates. I'm fairly well informed about each of them and what their strengths and what their weaknesses are, and I feel that someone who has that kind of information might be a good person to help the district choose the right candidate.
So what exactly does a delegate do? When we go out at the primary election on April 26th and choose a delegate, what is your job? What do you do once you're elected by the people of the 11th district?
Actually, if it is the kind of election where we already have our a nominee chosen, and that nominee has 1,237 votes. All we do is cheerlead, pretty much what you see on television, hold up signs, wear crazy costumes, and so on. But I believe that this is not going to be that kind of convention at all. I think this is going to be a brokered convention. There are so many people in it, and I think not one person is going to get the majority of the votes. So now what the delegate does is to do some horse trading with the other delegates to see to it that the person whom they support and choose will be the ultimate delegate. So that's what we'll do. I think that's why, well, I know that's why I'm running this time, because I don't believe it's going to be so cut and dry.
And you know, when we talk about the Republican presidential field right now, you know, we've seen it, come down in numbers. So we started with 17.
17, something like that, yes.
You know, we're down to the final six right now, that as of this week,
yes.
the 6 who are here. You know, and we have the 6 going into South Carolina. And you gave me some history lesson before the show about South Carolina, and that it's not a closed primary like Pennsylvania has.
That's right, it is not.
And could you just explain that quickly,
yes.
what that is?
Right, and that's why, let me say first of all that I believe it's not necessarily going to be the barometer that some pundits believe, because it is an open primary. And what that means is that independents, Democrats, and Republicans can vote in our primary. In Pennsylvania, that isn't the case. Only Republicans can vote, so it's a closed primary. There are, I think, 19 states that have an open primary. So and South Carolina is one of these states.
Right.
So it is not going to necessarily be the barometer for the ultimate candidate. Although each person who thinks he's going to win keeps trying to convince us that's what's going to happen, but that isn't the case at all.
So it especially very important, you know, in our primary election that everyone gets out and vote, because we have a close primary, so it gets a good meter of, you know, all the Republicans, all the Democrats, the independents, and so on like that. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to talk to Carol about, you know, what else a delegate does, what she thinks of the presidential candidates, and is there somebody that she kind of likes more than another? We'll talk all about that coming up on Topic A when we come right back. Stay with us.
During these changing times, is your insurance program up to date? I'm local Allstate agent Gary McNeilis. I invite you to come into our office or give us a call. We'll help you be sure that you have the proper coverage to take care of all your family's needs at a price you can afford. Now more than ever, you need to be in good hands to protect everything that's important to you. Our team of insurance professionals and I will be honored to serve you. Are you in good hands?
Express Care. Walk in and you walk into the region's most trusted health network.
Boy, I hope I win tonight.
Why?
It's tax time, and I have to get my taxes done.
Well, why don't you try Honest Abe's tax service? The most you'll pay is $75 to $125. They say don't stress, pay less.
What's that name again?
Honest Abe's Business and Tax Service. 310 South Church Street, Hazleton, 570-861-8297.
So, you're ready for a new mattress. Nice. Are you thinking traditional innerspring hybrid gel or latex memory foam? Is Sealy Posturepedic, Optimum, or at Stearns & Foster the right choice for you? Well, at Grand Central, our mattress professionals make it easy. Right now, get huge savings on Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses. Get free delivery and pay no interest when paid in full within 48 months. So come in for the best rest of your life. Grand Central. We speak Sealy.
Combined Insurance makes it easy to protect you and your loved ones by paying cash directly to you when you need it most. Whether you're looking for accident and sickness, disability, or life coverage, Combined Insurance has a policy to meet your needs and fit your budget. Call John Ravello, 570-499-0504 for an appointment to help determine the best coverage for you. That's John Ravello, 570-499-0504.
Hello, I'm Ann Gownley from WYLN TV. Please join us this year as the Hazleton unit of the American Cancer Society presents the 38th annual telethon On the Road to Wellness. The telethon will be held Saturday, February 27th at our new home, the Health and Wellness Center at Hazleton. WYLN will be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Join us for a day filled with great entertainment. The telethon is made possible by these sponsors.
And welcome back to Topic A, everyone, and I'm talking with Carol Druniak, who is a candidate to be Republican delegate within the 11th Congressional District here in Pennsylvania. And before we took a break, we were talking about a broker convention, which you believe is what we're going to see. Basically being that, we really think that the Republican Party will select their nominee at the convention, something that we really haven't seen in such a long time.
I think it's about 70 years before that happened in the past. And I think to have people understand what that is, there isn't going to be any one person at the end of all this voting who is going to garner the number of delegates that he needs to win the nomination. He needs, again, 1,237. I believe those delegates of a total of 2,472 are going to be split among basically three candidates. I think it's going to be among Rubio, Trump, and Cruz.
And do you think that those three are kind of be the loudest and rally the most leading into the convention, with the understanding, maybe knowing that it could be decided by the delegates at that convention, going in, and the convention's in July.
In July, yes.
So
in Cleveland.
In Cleveland. So, do you really think that those three, no matter what, and there have been some mudslinging going on recently, putting it mildly.
Yes.
Especially between those three candidates. But do you think those three are going to, battle no matter what to get to that convention? To make their case?
I think so, and I think they will, as long as the money holds out. I think at least two of the three candidates are very well funded. It depends on Rubio whether he is able to get the financing that he needs to continue on, but yes, I do think that if he does, and he might, then the three that will be at the convention, where the delegate becomes very important, because other delegates will come to you trying to convince you that you should send your delegates to their candidate. And we're trying to do the same thing. So.
Something I wanted to ask you, when we first talked about doing the show, one question that popped into my mind is, do you, are you upset maybe, or how do you feel that there weren't as many women in the race for president? Carly Fiorina was in, and she just dropped out not too long ago. But this seems like there's a strong Republican woman that entered the race. Now, on the Democrat side, where we have Hillary Clinton, but someone who has been involved in this for over 30 years. Are you kind of upset that there really hasn't been that much of a stride for women to be involved, especially in a presidential race?
Indeed, I am, and have been for many years. That's why I got involved to begin with. We have a different perspective than men do on various issues, and I think it's important. But what I liked about Carly is that she pointed out that a woman doesn't necessarily have to speak only on, quote, women issues, but rather she has a huge technical background that I think is imperative as our government goes forward. And a lot of women can bring very different talents to the political scene. And I thought she did an excellent job, and I was sorry to see that she wasn't included in the last debate. I thought that she, again, pointed out some very reasonable reasons to keep her in there.
I want to ask you about Donald Trump. A lot of very hardcore conservatives just kind of don't believe in him. He had liberal ties for many, many years.
60
years. The governor of South Carolina, Governor Nikki
Haley.
Sorry, I was blanking on her name. Said that she would not back him. Publica said that. Now, as far as I know, she hasn't made an announcement who she's endorsing anyone yet.
As far as I know.
Is Donald Trump the shot in the arm the conservative movement needed, or is it a smoke and mirror show, what he's doing?
Well, no, I think he has done a few good things for the Republican Party, and that is he has tapped into the emotion. So many Republicans in the past, and in the present for that matter, don't know how to tap into the emotion of the people, but he's done that now. Granted, he's done it by making his announcement by talking about immigration, illegal immigration. But let me just say something about illegal immigration. Donald Trump wasn't the first one to talk about that. As a matter of fact, our representative, Lou Barletta, was the first one to bring up the idea of illegal immigration. That's how he became our representative, because that was front and foremost for his campaign. So, but Donald Trump did that. He also tapped into the anger by many conservative Republicans because the Republican Congress, House and Senate, have not done what they've promised to do, with the exception of a few people. Ted Cruz, for example. Ted Cruz does not, he maybe it's told that he's not very popular among the Senate, but the reason he isn't is because he stands on principle. But let's go back to Trump for a moment. What Trump tapped into was this anger that all of these people are voted in. They've asked us to support them, and we did. We gave them the House. We gave them the Senate. And what did they do to stop any of these unconstitutional things that the president has done? Nothing. They have gone forward and they have, instead of using the purse strings, which they have a right to do, they didn't. And they went for this omnibus bill. They don't challenge him on amnesty. They let the courts deal with it. No, that's the job of the legislature. They are to deal with these kinds of problems. They are our voice in the Congress, and so they must speak on our behalf as to what we do. That said, this is another issue that has me perplexed with Donald Trump. He's proudly saying that he supports his own, he's funding his own campaign. That frightens me a little. If small people, we people, aren't sending in $25 donations, $50, what responsibility does he have to us if he were to become the president? None.
Yeah, because he's funding his own
He's funding his own,
right.
so he can do as he well pleases. That's a scary thought, because I have seen him in some of these debates be a rather vindictive person, and it frightens me to think if you don't agree with him on something, he'll sick the IRS on you. We already have one of them. We don't need another.
Right.
That's the scary part of Trump. But what good thing he did? He brought the whole emotion into the game, and I think that's important for Republicans particularly.
All right, Carol, we're going to have to stop here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to ask her, who does she think will be the next president of the United States, and what is she looking forward to in serving the people of the 11th District? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
Hold on a second.
Baby's coming.
Now?
Yes, now.
Call you back. Did she go to the hospital?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago.
Your wife's having the baby. What? The baby. Go. I got this.
You're sure?
It's what I did when I started this place.
We know what went into building your wealth. Our financial advisors put the same care into helping you craft a plan to manage it. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
For over 25 years, Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, 118 Boulevard Road, Bloomsburg, has provided professionally designed skeet, prep, and sporting play fields. All stations are handicap accessible with resident NRA certified shooting instructors on site. There are packages available to fit anyone's budget, restaurant and catering on site. Our facility is also available for weddings, business meetings, bachelor and private parties. Call 570-384-2314. Get the entire story when it's convenient for you. And get it from WILN News. 2 daily newscasts from your #1 source for local news. WILN's Evening Edition, news at 5:30, and WILN's Late Edition, news at 10. More than just headlines. It's the whole story. In-depth reporting on hot topics and more. Plus the area's most accurate weather report from the WILN Weather Center. More news, weather, and sports twice a day. Only on WILN, we're your local network.
Welcome back to Topic everyone. I'm Gary Perna, and I'm joined by Carol Druniak, who is running to be a Republican delegate in the Republican National Convention within the 11th Congressional District here in Pennsylvania. Carol, before the break, I said I was going to ask you, who do you think will be the next president of the United States moving forward?
Before I answer that question, let me say this. Whoever it is, they will be heaps and bounds better than either Democrat. We have a socialist on one hand and a possible criminal on the other. And if anybody had done what Hillary Clinton has done, they would be in jail. That said, I think it's going to come down to 2 people. And I think it's going to come down to Trump and Ted Cruz. And what I would like to see people do is to read both of their books. One, The Art of the Deal, and the other is A Time for Truth, and find out about the candidate and what that candidate has to say about himself, because they are autobiographies. It's not someone else's view, it's their view. I think ultimately, if people do this, they are definitely going to lean more towards a person who is going to adhere to the Constitution. That is my opinion. But perhaps I'm prejudiced because I am such a strong believer in the Constitution and how that affects American lives. So anyway, that's where we are with me.
And one question I want to ask you, within each district, how many delegates are voted on? You know, how many go to the convention? Is it just one, or is there more than one?
From our district, there are 3 who are going to be elected.
Okay.
And I think 2 alternates.
Okay.
Are going to be elected. And those encompass, as I said, all of Lou Barletta's area and district, several counties.
Okay.
Yes.
Which, you know, and this is unique because, you know, the delegate, you know, this isn't a hotly contested race. We don't see commercials and mailers and stuff like this, but this is a very important part to the electoral.
Right this time, it is very important because we may be the ultimate choosers of the next president of the United States. Should this become a brokered convention, which I believe it's going to be.
All right, we got a little bit less than a minute. The final push on why the people within the 11th district should vote for you to be one of the delegates going.
Okay. I have read a great deal. I've been a very informed voter, a very resigned person to the Constitution. For one thing. I did teach American Lit and I did teach American history, so I know a little bit about the background of this country and why it was founded. First of all, it was founded on religious liberty. That was the first thing. And then it became a thought for independence. And I'm a strong believer in all of this. I am a strong believer in self-reliance and independence and all of the things that our fathers, our founding fathers advocated. So since I come from that kind of background, have served in government myself, and have helped promote a lot of others in the Republican Party as the governor or state representative or whatever, I just feel I've had a long history of supporting Republican candidates.
That does it for this edition of Topic A, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, I'm Joe Garbaczyk from WILN TV. Please join us this year as the Hazleton unit of the American Cancer Society presents the 38th annual telethon On the Road to Wellness. The telethon will be held Saturday, February 27th at our new home, the Health and Wellness Center at Hazleton. WYLN will be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Join us for a day filled with great entertainment. The telethon is made possible by these sponsors.